What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 Cadillac Escalade Sport Platinum. Huge thank you to Mike.Dwyer over at More Cadillac here in Chantilly, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular Escalade or any Cadillac product at or below MSRP, then I'll be sure to have Mike and More Cadillac's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. To quote my local weatherman Tucker Barnes over at Fox 5 DC, he said today was going to be a breezy day, not a windy day. So here's your little breeze warning for today. But just like usual, first I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. Like I said, this is a 2024 Cadillac Escalade Sport Platinum, and this particular one has been painted in Black Raven. I wanted to start today's video off by getting my personal biases out of the way because in my personal opinion, I think the Escalade is the best looking full-size SUV on the market. You may agree with me, you may disagree with me. Let me know your opinions on that in the comments down below. I just figured, you know, I put my personal opinion out at the beginning of the video. But this one being the Sport Platinum, as standard, you get LED headlights with auto leveling and IntelliBeam, as well as LED daytime running lights and LED turn signals. But taking a step to the left, this is what the front end of the Sport Platinum looks like. It looks the exact same as the Sport because the only real differences between the Sport and the Sport Platinum come down to some interior bits and pieces. But this one being the Sport Platinum, you get a gloss black mesh grille with that gloss black grille surround. This one's been optioned with the $2,995 Onyx package, so you get the monochromatic Cadillac emblems both front and rear. And then at the bottom of your Cadillac emblem, you get a forward-facing camera, and that is because the Sport Platinum comes standard with a 360-degree view camera system. This also comes standard with 6 forward-facing sensors. Now back onto the stylistic bits and features. You can see right here you get that gloss black trim, and then you can see this piece right here, that is actually body color, and you know, I could example that better if this was white. But anyways, coming down just a little bit more, you get that gloss black front chin, and your ground clearance varies between 6 to 10 inches depending on which drive mode you are in, because the Sport Platinum comes standard with an adaptive air ride suspension as well as magnetic ride control, which both working together equate to a very smooth driving experience on the road. One of the best, especially considering, you know, what this thing looks like. It kind of looks like a tank. But coming on down the side, again, this thing does vary between 6 to 10 inches of ground clearance because you do have these airbags down in there. So there's a closer view of your air suspension. And then I'm going to try to hide from the wind. But one thing that I found interesting, this one being optioned with the Onyx package, you should get 22-inch 12-spoke gloss black wheels. However, these ones have not been installed. It's a dealer installed option, so they haven't replaced these yet. This one has the 22-inch gray with machine accent wheels that are wrapped in 275/50 Bridgestone Alenza all-season 02 tires. I'm going to give you a view of the tread pattern on these tires here real quick. That is what they look like. Here's another view of the wheel face, and with the Onyx package, again, you should have 22-inch 12-spoke gloss black wheels. This one just does not. And then coming up to here, obviously this being the Escalade, you do get rain sensing wipers. And then working my way into the side view mirrors, you do get body color mirror caps with integrated turn signals. And as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, power folding. The driver's side mirror is auto dimming. You also get memory function, so not only is it going to memorize your seat and your steering wheel settings, it is also going to memorize your side view mirror settings as well, which is definitely very nice if there are multiple people driving this vehicle in your household. And then you also get your blind spot monitoring on the upper left hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the upper right hand side of your passenger side mirror. You also get a camera right here, and that camera works with your 360-degree view camera system that you get as standard with this thing. And then also you get a puddle light right here that will project your Cadillac crest. So that's about it for the side view mirrors. I know, kind of a lot to go with the side view mirrors, but here's a little side profile shot of the Escalade. But I did want to point out that above where the driver sits, you get your body color shark fin antenna. You also get gloss black roof rails as well as gloss black window trim and body color door handles with keyless access and illumination. So you may see this white strip right here that basically at night will illuminate on all 4 of your door handles, just to give this a very premium, you know, exterior look. But it's also a little bit easier to grab onto the door handle, a little bit easier to see them. You don't really need it, but it is cool to have. And then you'd press this Cadillac crest right here to lock the vehicle right back up. And then coming down just a little bit more, with the Sport Platinum, you do get the gloss black body side moldings, which is what this piece is right here. And then you also, or this one has been optioned with the $1,750 power assist steps with perimeter lighting. So they will drop open. And then when it is at night again, you also do get a perimeter lighting strip, which I'll try to point out to you right now. So you can see that white little line right there. That is basically lighting that is going to illuminate under those power assist steps to make it a little bit easier to see what you're stepping into, and then also be able to see the your retractable steps at night, because they are black, so they are a little bit difficult to see if it is pitch black out. And then also you may notice you get your Cadillac crest on your C-pillar, both here and obviously on the other side. And then on the driver's side, you do have your fuel door. The vehicle does have to be unlocked in order to open up the fuel door. So I'm gonna press the unlock button. Now I have access to your fuel door. You do get a capless filler neck, and premium fuel is recommended. It is not required. So that is up to you, and you know, if you're gonna put it in or if you're not gonna put it in, but it is recommended, not required. But here is a rear 3/4 shot of the Escalade, and up top here you get your body color roof spoiler with your integrated third brake light. Your rear wiper is also hiding up there. You get a rear window defroster, and obviously, this being the Escalade, you get the Cadillac exclusive LED taillights. I love the way that the new LED taillights look on the Escalade. I know they've been around for a couple years, but I just really like, you know, the difference between this and the Yukon, and how this has the Cadillac, you know, taillights. I think these look great, and kind of like an ode back to the old Cadillacs. But here's a little booty shot of this thing. One thing I did want to mention is that your upper glass piece, this piece here, will open up. If you feel a little pad right here, you press on that pad, the upper glass will open. So if you go to Home Depot, you can send those 2x4s out the back. I don't know if you're going to be able to fit a piece of plywood, but I know you can send the 2x4s, the 2x6s, or any small piping or something like that that you don't have enough room for in the cab. You can open up this rear glass and send that through. And then coming down just a little bit more, again, with the Onyx package, you also get the monochromatic Cadillac emblem back here. By the way, this Cadillac emblem doubles as the button to open up your power liftgate. So, by the way, this does come standard with a hands-free power liftgate. And then coming down just a little bit more, you can see two cameras right here. The camera on the left is your backup camera. The camera on the right is the camera for your rear view camera mirror system, which I'm showing you on screen right now. And then again, with the Onyx package, you get the gloss black Escalade nameplate as well as the 600 badging. And again, as mentioned, you get a hands-free power liftgate. All you have to do is press the Cadillac emblem and the liftgate will begin to open up. That is the speed in which the liftgate opens up. And this being the Shorty Escalade, you can see this comes standard with a 36 speaker AKG sound system. So you get some, I think might be a speaker or sub, not 100% sure on that. But with the third row seats up, I'd say you get about maybe 20 inches from the trunk opening to the seat back. You can also lift up on this and get a little bit more storage space down underneath here for jumper cables, gloves, you know, small little items like that. And then you also, on the passenger side of the trunk, you get a household power outlet. You can drop these second row seats by pressing these buttons twice, and you can also raise and lower the third row by pressing this. So if you press down, that is going to lower the third row. You can also raise the third row, but you cannot raise the second row. So that's kind of about it for what we got going on in the trunk area. With those third row seats down, you get an additional about 3.5 feet of storage space. And then if you press that button, the lift gate will drop, and we're going to finish things off here at the back end. So coming down just a little bit, you do get 6 sensors back here, just like the front. You also get a dual exhaust system. One thing I thought was kind of interesting is that you get a single speed transfer case, so you do not get 4-wheel drive low. You also get an electronic limited slip differential, a 323 rear axle ratio, and a max tow capacity of 7,500 pounds, which is very capable. And that is one of the reasons I really like the Escalade, is because you can carry your family around in this thing, but then also you could tow your 23-foot boat, maybe even a 25-foot boat behind this thing with your family in it. So it is very utilitarian, and that is one of the big reasons I really like the Escalade. It is also very spacious on the interior. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals the 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8 that makes 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 6 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 14 miles per gallon in the city, 18 miles per gallon on the highway for 16 miles per gallon combined with four-wheel drive. If you're looking for an Escalade with a little bit better fuel economy, you may want to look into getting the optional Duramax for $100 more than the 6.2 liter V8. The Duramax is the baby diesel. So if you're looking for fuel economy, the Duramax is the way to go. If you're looking for performance, the 6.2 liter is the way to go. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you're enjoying the video, if you've learned anything from the video, please just take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. Those things look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me achieve my dreams. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, as mentioned earlier in the video, you do get keyless access. So all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and it will unlock. You can also lock it by running your finger across this Cadillac crest right here, and it will lock back up. This is what the key fob looks like. It's mostly satin black, and then going over the functions on it, you have your unlock and your lock functions, your remote start function, your power liftgate function, your panic function, and if you press that button twice, the upper piece of glass on your liftgate will open up. If you wanted to remote start it, all you have to do is press this button twice and she'll fire up. And that is what the 6.2 sounds like being fired up from the exterior's perspective. But as mentioned on the exterior, I said the Sport and the Sport Platinum look pretty much the exact same on the exterior. But when you step into the interior, that is where the differences begin, because the Sport Platinum gives you the semi-aniline leather seats and the leather trim, essentially saying you get nicer leather and you get leather wrapping more throughout the interior. So starting with the driver's side door panel, you get leather wrapping up top here with some accent colored stitching as well as some wood grain trim. As standard, you get heated and ventilated front seats with 3 levels of adjustability, and that is where the seat controls for that are. Then you have your unlock and your lock functions, your power side view mirror controls here. This is going to power fold in or out your side view mirrors. This button is going to restrict your passenger window privileges. You get automatic up and down windows at all 4 corners. You also get a leather wrapped armrest that is nicely padded. You get some accent colored piping, some accent colored stitching, storage space, a spot you could set your water bottle, and the Sport Platinum comes standard with the 36 speaker AKG sound system. This is what your front seats look like. You do get 12-way power adjustable front seats with 4-way power lumbar as well as massage, and the massage functions are very comfortable. That is what the seat controls look like here for the driver's seat. And then with that AKG sound system, you also get speakers in your headrests for both the driver and the front passenger. But stepping on into these front seats, let's take a listen to what the door sounds like when you close it. And now let's gain access into our digital dash and our infotainment system. You can see the Escalade there. It says Escalade, and then you also get the Cadillac crest. But pressing the push to start button, this is what the interior looks like. And now I'm just gonna walk you throughout the entire interior, starting with these physical buttons down here. This button is going to put you into your 4-wheel drive automatic. This is for your 2-wheel drive high. This is for your 4-wheel drive high. We're gonna get a little thing that's gonna let me know that I'm in demo mode. But anyways, coming back over to here, you do not get 4-wheel drive low because again, this has a single speed transfer case, and if you press this button, that is going to put you into your terrain mode. However, you have to be in 4-wheel drive high in order to be put into terrain mode. And then the button to the right of that is your drive mode selector. You have a few different drive modes like Tour, Sport, Off-Road, Tow Haul, and My Mode, and it will let you know what those different modes do on the infotainment system as you bounce between the different drive modes. Personally, for me, if I'm cruising around town, Tour mode is definitely the mode to be in because it gives you the most compliant suspension setting. But anyways, coming back over to here, as mentioned, you do get the adaptive air ride suspension with the Sport Platinum. So if you wanted to lower the suspension, this is the button you would press. If you wanted to raise the suspension, this is the button you would press. And you get 3 different suspension settings. So you have your increased ground clearance, your normal ground clearance, and your entry exit ground clearance. I'm going to leave it in what it is in right now. And then this button is going to turn or engage or disengage your electronic parking brake. You get a trailer brake controller, and then this scroll knob is to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster as well as your backlit buttons. And then coming over to here, the Sport Platinum gives you a power tilting and telescoping steering wheel, so you can push the steering wheel away from you, you can bring the steering wheel towards you, and you can also move it up and down. And then you also get memory settings included with the power steering column. But now let's take a listen to the turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like on the Escalade. And not only is this your turn signal control stock, this is also your headlight control stock. So right now we're in headlights automatic. That is parking lights on, and all the way up is headlights always on. I personally like to leave it in automatic. And then the button on the end of this stock right here is going to turn your IntelliBeam / automatic high beams on or off. IntelliBeam is your automatic high beams. And then zooming back out, this is what your steering wheel looks like. Obviously it is leather wrapped and it is also heated. So if you press that button right there, that is going to turn your heated steering wheel on or off. You also do get steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, upshift on the right, downshift on the left, and just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. So let's take a listen to it. That is what the horn sounds like on the Escalade. Now, you may be wondering what these two things are for, and that is because the Sport Platinum comes standard with Super Cruise, which is your hands-free driving system, but it only works on certain highways, so it doesn't work everywhere, but it is very nice. All you would have to do to like switch lanes and keep going is turn the turn signal on. The vehicle is going to basically go around the vehicle. You don't have to do anything with the steering wheel. It's just going to drive you. It's a very, very nice system and one of the best on the market. But for the roads that don't have Super Cruise capability, you also do get adaptive cruise control as standard, and here are your adaptive cruise control settings. So that is what they look like there. That is to turn your heated steering wheel on or off. This is like your gap adjust for your you know, how close you're going to be to the vehicle ahead of you, right, if you're using the adaptive cruise control system. That is also like your gap adjust. So you have your different sensitivity modes for your forward collision braking system. And then coming down just a little bit more, you can see these three controls here. So basically with this vehicle, you have this button, and basically if you press and hold on that and you're connected to Apple CarPlay, you can go into Siri. But if you press that, you can speak to the vehicle, tell it to, you know, turn the AC to 68 degrees. This is your conversation enhancement. So basically if you press that, the vehicle or the people in the third row are going to be able to hear your voice a little bit better, and you're also going to be able to hear their voice better because it is amplifying their voice throughout the speakers in the headrests or shoulder level speakers for the second and the third row passengers. So that is what that button does. And then this right here is for your Super Cruise system to turn it on or off. And then coming to this side of the steering wheel, that's to go forwards on a track, that is to go backwards on a track. This is going to pop up your audio stuff on your digital gauge cluster. This is going to pop up your phone stuff on your digital gauge cluster. And then these buttons are to bring up the volume, lower the volume, and then that is going to mute the audio system. And then moving to this screen here. So this right here is your 7.2-inch OLED display. It is your control panel for this screen here. So you can see right now we have that street. Basically, it is showing me that I'm in this mode. It's going to show me my trip 1 information, my trip 2 information, or a blank screen. If I go into the gauge cluster looking thing, this is the gauge. So basically it's your gauge mode. You can also go into your maps. So it's going to pop up your map stuff here on the digital gauge cluster. Or you can go into your augmented reality, which is basically like a camera at the center. It takes a little bit, but basically, yeah, it's a camera that is going throughout your gauge cluster. And then the map stuff was popping up, but I just kind of was impatient. Basically, it's like your map throughout the display. I kind of like the gauge thing for now. And then if you go all the way to the right, that is for your head-up display. So you can adjust the brightness or the height of the head-up display system. And the head-up display system is up top here. You get that with the Sport Platinum. And then moving into this screen, this is your 14.2-inch digital gauge cluster, and this is gauge mode. So right now it's displaying the date and the time, the ambient exterior temperature. Then you also have your speedometer, your digital speedometer readout. Got your tachometer down here. This is letting me know that I am in my top ground clearance mode. That is the compass. Again, I pointed this out. You got your tachometer, odometer. That's letting you know who is buckled and who is not buckled. This is the speed limit sign. Then you have your audio stuff here, your fuel gauge. This is letting you know your four-wheel drive status. Right now we are in four-wheel automatic. This is your transmission status stuff. and then that is your fuel range. And then I already showed you the other two modes, like your augmented reality, which is the camera, and then you also have your map stuff. So basically showing you the different things. Again, I like the map thing at the center. And then if I come up just a little bit, this is my head-up display system. It is displaying my digital speedometer readout and the speed limit sign. You get these beautiful tweeters here on your A-pillar with that AKG sound system. You also get some wood grain trim throughout the dash. But moving into this screen here, this is your 16.9-inch infotainment system with built-in navigation and wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you have your different shortcuts into home, media, navigation, phone, or vehicle information stuff. So if you go into your vehicle information, you can see that stuff. You can see that stuff, that stuff, that stuff, that stuff, that stuff, and that stuff. This is what your home screen looks like. You can go into your secondary screen. Again, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, vehicle information. This does have a Wi-Fi hotspot. So let's say you have kids, you're going on a road trip and the kids bring their iPads. They can connect their iPads to the vehicle rather than having to connect them to your personal hotspot on your phone. You can also pop up your rear climate control throughout this screen as well. And then going back into this, going over to here, you get the rear media. So basically this vehicle comes standard with dual 12.6-inch rear entertainment screens. You can watch YouTube on them, you can watch Hulu, etc. You can also connect your PlayStation or Xbox to these screens as well, and that is what the rear media is right here. Basically you're going to give them permissions, and then you can also, like, you know, go into your settings and give them power, turn them off if they're being bad and stuff like that. And then My Cadillac set service appointments. Again, you get a 360-degree view camera system that you can pop up throughout this screen. And then you also get active park assist or automatic parking assist. So basically you can parallel or perpendicular park this thing, but the vehicle is going to do it. You know what I'm saying? You can select parallel or perpendicular and the vehicle will search for the parking spot and it will pull you into the parking spot if you don't know how to parallel park. So yeah, that is kind of about it for the screen. I don't feel like spending too much time on it because it doesn't really need it. It is a very, very easy to use screen. And then down here, you have your time and your temperature. But to control that screen, you also have this scroll knob here. So basically you can go throughout the screen with the scroll knob. You can select stuff with the scroll knob. You can go your shortcut into your music stuff, your phone stuff, nav stuff. These are all of your different shortcut buttons. And then you also have your volume control knob right here as well. So this makes using the infotainment system while you're driving super, super easy. I love it. It's a very intuitive and easy to use screen, hence why I don't feel like I need to spend too much time on it. And then I just also love the layout of the dash on the Escalade compared to the Navigator, compared to the Denali Ultimate, etc. I think this has the best looking and, you know, just feeling dash layout, especially with all that leather up top there. It looks very premium. And then right here is where it's going to read out, you know, your check engine light or any of your different, you know, things you never want to see. That is where it's going to let you know on that screen there. And then you also get 4 HVAC vents on the dash, 1, 2, 3, and then your fourth one is over there. You get a physical climate control stack, which I love compared to the Lincoln Navigator I did a video with last week. I did a video with a Black Label Special Edition, which was, I think, $4 grand more than this. But anyways, it did not have the physical climate controls or all the physical climate controls. So I love the physical climate controls here. It also looks very nice as well. But I also did want to mention that with this vehicle, you do get a tri-zone climate control system. So that is definitely nice. Coming over to here, this is for your auto hold feature. Basically, if you're tired of holding your foot down on your brake in traffic, you'd press that and then the vehicle will hold you in place by itself with its braking system. This is to turn the auto stop start system on or off, and then this is to turn your lane keeping system on or off. Coming over to here, you get a USB-A port, you get a USB-C port, a spot you could set your key fob. You also have 2 cup holders right here, and you can close all of that stuff off and get some nice wood grain trim if you want a simplistic look. Wireless charging pad is here. If you set your phone down in there, it will start charging, and it's going to let you know that it is starting to charge when you get the green lightning bolt on your phone right there. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, one of the bigger phones on the market, and it fits in the wireless charging pad. I already went over this kind of stuff. This is your gear shift selector. This is going to turn your hazards on or off. And then you get a nice looking and padded armrest. And if you open the armrest up, down in here, you get a 12-volt power outlet, a USB-A port, a USB-C port. This divider you can take out. And I would say you probably get about, I don't know, a foot of depth there, and then about, you know, 8 to 10 inches width here. So a decent amount of storage space in that glove box. Definitely not as big as what you get though with the Navigator. And then coming over to here, you get a little bit of storage space down in there. You can set a phone or something like that. And then on this side, you get that storage space plus a 12-volt power outlet. I kind of jumped the gun a little bit. My brain's all over the place. Coming over to here, you get that glove box that is lockable, and you get a very good amount of storage space in your glove box down in there as well. It feels like this is leather wrapped as well, so I think that is what you get with the Sport Platinum. It's basically leather throughout the entire interior. And then up top here, you get your rear view camera mirror system. This is what I was referring to when I pointed out the rear view camera mirror camera at the back. So this is a very nice thing to have because it rids you of your blind spots. But if you do not like it, but you like the Sport Platinum and this comes standard with this, you can actually flip that forward, and now it's just going to behave like an auto dimming rear view mirror would. Personally, for me, I like that because it rids you of your blind spot, and it is very adjustable. So you can adjust the brightness of it, you can adjust the zoom out, the zoom in, zoom out. Press this, you can move the orientation down, you can move the orientation up. So basically you can set this up exactly how you want it to be. Very nice. I love that feature. And then you get your OnStar stuff. It's going to let you know if your passenger airbag is on or off. You can raise and lower your third row seats right here. So if I push down and I lower the third row seats, this and this are going to illuminate in red, letting me know that the third row seats are dropped. And then you can also raise the third row seats by pressing those two buttons as well. And then both of your reading lights here are LED. You get a panoramic roof as standard with this thing. So this is going to slide the panoramic roof. This is for the shade to slide forwards and backwards. And then this is going to tilt the sunroof both up and down. I'll show you what it looks like with the sunroof open from the exterior's perspective. And then here you get your universal garage door opener. This is to pop open and or close your power lift gate. You can open up your power lift gate all the way. You can open up 3/4 of the way, or you can turn the power lift gate off. I leave it in max because why not? And then right here, this is basically, let's say you lock your vehicle, but your windows are down and somebody reaches into the vehicle, the alarm is gonna go off. So that is what that does right there. It is called your motion sensor. So it's gonna sense any motion and it's gonna set the alarm off if somebody reaches into the vehicle. Then you get your fancy looking speakers in your roof. This is a suede headliner. It looks and feels very nice. The driver gets a no poop handle. The front passenger also gets a no poop handle. And then opening up the visor itself, you get a vanity mirror with 2 vanity lights. And then the visor itself slides forwards and backwards for when the sun is in those awkward positions. Now, I wanted to go over seat comfort. These seats are very, very comfortable. And if you wanted to turn your massaging seat function on, you come down to here and you press on this. That is going to pop this screen on the dash, and you can turn your massage to roll, knead, wave, or relief, or glide. So you have any of those different things. And then you also have the intensity, so you can make them, you know, 1, 2, or 3 intensity level. So very comfortable vehicle for a daily driver, and then also for a road trip. You know, this thing's pretty much the best of the best in my opinion. But now I'm gonna throw the entire window sticker on screen. You can take a look at everything that you get as standard, but I am just gonna highlight the MSRP for time's sake. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2024 Escalade Sport Platinum is spec'd is $120,435. So I did a video with a Lincoln Navigator Black Label Special Edition the other day. That one was like $124,000. And if I was to choose between the two, the Navigator seats are a little bit more comfortable, but I think this thing looks better on the exterior, and I think I'd rather just have the Escalade. But if you want more power and more comfortable seats, take a look at the Navigator. I just like the way that the Escalade looks and feels on the interior just a little bit better. But I do want to show you what we got going on here in the rear seats before moving into the driving portion of the video. So I did a video with a Sport Platinum last year, and at that time, I guess the chip shortage or whatever took away your automatic up and down windows. So now for 2024, you again have the automatic up and down windows, and you can see the windows go all the way down. They are also, the windows are also dual pane glass for sound's sake, you know, keeping it better insulated from sound. Then you get the leather wrapping from here on up, nicely padded armrest. You're unlocking your lock functions. Then you get a speaker, storage space, and a spot you could set a water bottle. This door sill back here is also illuminated, and it says Escalade, and then this is what your seats look like back here. So stepping on into these rear seats, this is also leather wrapped, by the way. But I'm gonna close that door there real quick. And if I just touch that screen, it should turn this thing on. But all right, so basically I had to go into the infotainment system, but now the screen is on and you can see you get your Hulu, YouTube Kids, so not YouTube TV, I'm sorry. And then you also have HDMI 1 and HDMI 2. So you could connect your Xbox to this thing because you get a household power outlet down here. You also get a household power outlet there in the back. So you just bring an extension cord for the second Xbox or PlayStation or whatever, and you can play each other because you have an HDMI 1 and an HDMI 2. So you can connect 2 different consoles to this thing, and you can also watch YouTube, which I think is awesome. But anyways, I don't want to spend too much time on that, but you get dual screens, 12.6 inches. Seat back pocket behind the driver's seat, seat back pocket behind the passenger seat, heated outboard second row seats. I did want to mention that the Navigator Black Label does give you heated and ventilated second row seats. So this just gives you the heated second row seats, not heated and ventilated. The Navigator gives you the ventilated ones as well. But then up top here, HVAC vent, a spot you could set your dry cleaning. You also get a dome light and a speaker. Clicking on this is going to pop open this and you get 2 cup holders. And then down here you get a USB-C port, an HDMI port, a USB-C port, and an HDMI port. Very awesome. I do, however, wish that these would lock into place. You can see they basically just go up and down, so you can't like adjust them to the certain spot that you want. I think the Escalade, charging this much for an Escalade, you should be able to like lock them into the position that you want them to be in. But these second row seats are also very comfortable, and you can recline them as well, so you can be extremely comfortable in the second row. But I do want to show you the leg and knee room. Plenty of leg and knee room when I am adjusted behind myself. I am 5'9", and when it comes to headroom, I mean, come on, it's an Escalade, tons of it. But also, being an Escalade, you get tons of room walking into the third row. That is why people get these things, because they're just so spacious. But here in the third row, you get a nicely padded and leather wrapped armrest, a USB-C port right there that is illuminated. You get a cup holder, a little bit of storage space, and then on this side you get the same things. I love that Alcantara headliner comes down to like right here. Just looks very, very, you know, premium, and you know that's kind of what you would expect out of a $120,000 vehicle. Back here, speaker, you got your blue LED lights back here. This is for like your Bluetooth phone or the cabin connect system where you can speak to the people in the front. Another HVAC vent and a spot you could set your dry cleaning on both sides. Headroom, I mean, come on, again, Escalade, but even me being behind myself here, I still got quite a bit of knee and leg room, so I could even be comfortable here in the third row. But you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior of this thing. I love it, but now I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I will see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video. Take a listen. The 6.2 sounds awesome. It is a great sounding motor, and it also it's got the get up as well. You know, it might not get the greatest fuel economy, so when comparing the engine in this, the gas powered engine in this, compared to the Lincoln Navigator Black Label's engine, I will say that the Black Label has more power and gets a little bit better fuel economy than this. And then also the seats in the Navigator are a little bit more comfortable than the seats in the Escalade. However, the Escalade seats are also very, very comfortable in and of themselves. The Navigators are just a little bit more comfortable, and I believe they are also 30-way power adjustable seats. But one thing I did notice about those seats is that there's almost like too much adjustability with them. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard sometimes to find your perfect position, and it takes a little bit of time. But once you find your perfect position, you know, you're in the perfect position seats. It's just a matter of, you know, fine tuning them over the course of I don't even know how long. You know, I've never found my perfect position in them because I feel like almost intimidated by the amount of adjustability with them. However, the seats are a little bit more comfortable in that. However, I will say, I think that the massaging function in the Escalade is definitely better than the massaging function in the Navigator. Now, I'll also say that the Escalade handles better than the Navigator for sure. you know, when it comes to going around turns and stuff like that. And I think both of them, you know, go over bumps very, very well, and honestly better than you would expect them to, because they're so big. You would not expect them to handle, or I guess this to handle as well as it does. So the Navigator just has a little bit more body roll than this. But going around this turn here, I'm gonna click the mode button, put myself into sport mode. Here's a little acceleration. So the engine in this, no doubt, sounds better than the engine that's in the Navigator, and that's just because it's a V8 versus a twin turbo V6. But, you know, to a lot of you watching this video, I don't think you really care about what the engine sounds like. I think you more care about, you know, what the acceleration is like, what the car feels like when it comes to the suspension, and the suspension in this is just fantastic. It's really one of the best suspensions you can get on the market. You know, it has the adaptive air ride suspension working with the magnetic ride control, and GM, their magnetic ride control is just perfection. So handling test here for a big boy SUV, man, it handles very, very well, like very well. And that is something that you'll notice, like with the Escalade. Like right now, when you're doing that kind of thing, the magnetic ride control is like, you know, firming up the suspension where it needs to, so it doesn't have that body roll. And it's very noticeable how it does not have as much body roll as you would expect it to have. And that's just what's so great. You know, it's comfortable when you're cruising, but then it also handles well at the same time, which is a very hard thing to do on a big vehicle like this. You know, it's definitely not an easy thing, and that is kind of why these things are expensive, but you're getting what you pay for, because it's awesome. Now here's another acceleration. So this is just, it's so good because it drives great, it handles great, the seats are super comfortable. I think it looks fantastic on the exterior. It's a great vehicle, you know what I mean? It's awesome because you can tow with it, you can bring your family around at the same time as you're towing. And then it's also just, it's safe, it's big, so if you get hit by, you know, God forbid, a bigger vehicle, you're gonna feel good about your family cruising. You know, if you're not with them, you're gonna feel good about them cruising in this vehicle by themselves, because it's so large, it's very safe, and you know, it's very safe, it's very comfortable. So I think that will give you the confidence, you know, to have your family in it, which is a big selling point. So I love the way that this infotainment system works. It is very intuitive, it's very easy to use, and with this scroll knob and all of these physical controls here, it just makes ease of use while you're driving down the road and trying to fiddle with the infotainment system. You know what I mean? You can just go into whatever it is you need to go into, and it just makes life super easy. You know what I mean? You just scroll into what you need to scroll into, and it's all controlled either through the push button, or excuse me, not the push button, the touchscreen, or it's controlled with these physical controls. So moving on from there, we're gonna move into the sound system. So the AKG sound system sounds phenomenal. It is one of the better sounding sound systems that I've heard in a vehicle. It's got the clarity, it's got the bass, it's got everything, and that's just why I love the Escalade, because they really focused on, you know, just building a very quality vehicle. You know, I know, you know, there's some issues with this in certain respects, but you know, that's just like any other vehicle. You know, they all have their own sort of issues, whatever that may be. But overall, it's safe. Might not be the most fuel efficient, but it's safe, it's comfortable, it can tow, and it's just gonna be very comfortable if you have a family of like 4 kids and you're the 2 adults. You know what I mean? You guys are all gonna be very comfortable in this thing, cruising around town, taking them to where they need to go. And then there's also just so much space in this thing. You know, when you're going to baseball practice, you're going to basketball practice, you have the space for it, plus having the kids in the car. So it's just very spacious, and it's a great vehicle really if you have the money for it, if you have a big family. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything from the video, please just take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps me, you know, reach my dreams, and, you know, helps me get one step closer to my goals each and every day. So I'd appreciate it if you do those 3 things. But again, that is it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.